Hi, everyone. I'm Maureen McGuire, Senior Vice President for Advancement at CHR, and today we're talking to Jennifer Doutre, who is a Service Director and Licensed Clinical Social Worker at CHR. And we're talking about holidays and winter blues. You know, while we all like to think of the picture-perfect holiday season with snow on the ground and families gathered together, baking cookies, it isn't really always the scenario for everyone.
You're listening to the Real Life, Real Hope podcast, brought to you by CHR.
So, Jen, what are some tips and recommendations to help people during this time of year?
I think that this time of year can be very challenging for many people. And a part of that is because there's this unrealistic expectation that the holiday season needs to be magical. And it's not always. And, you know, life can be challenging. And just because it's the holidays doesn't mean we're magically going to feel wonderful. And I think giving up some of that expectation can make it a little bit more bearable for people, and to realize everyone around them is also not feeling magical because we have a tendency to compare ourselves to others. I think another tip is to make sure that you're taking care of your physical health. You know, go to the doctors, make sure you get blood work done to make sure that there's no vitamin deficiencies. This is the time of year where people will have some vitamin D deficiencies or vitamin B deficiencies, all of which can impact your energy levels, your mood, and it could be as simple as taking some supplements, but you really need to do that under the advice of a doctor.
And why do you think this time of year is triggering for some people?
I think that, you know, families are complicated. And during the holiday season, we tend to be around our families more. And there's a lot of different dynamics that happen. And we want it to be magical, and it's not. And I think that gets to be very triggering for people, particularly if there's also some family trauma that has occurred. You may have to be exposed to it more than you do in your normal, you know, the rest of the year. So I think that can make it very hard.
And how can people access, you know, resources to help during this time of year?
I think coming to agencies like CHR is one way that you can get support during this time of year. Just because somebody goes into therapy or treatment doesn't mean that you need it for life. You could just, you know, come in for 4 or 5 sessions to get through this time of year. I think you can call 211, depending on what it is that you need help with. They have a lot of resources, whether it's to help you find housing or additional, you know, economic supports, heating your home, all of those things which can also impact your, you know, your mental health.
Right. That reminds me, you know, we've got the holiday season in December, then we've got the long winter months after that. Do you find that can be a time of year that's harder for people who are prone toward depression?
Absolutely. I think it's a time of year where people tend to isolate more, and isolation does usually increase depression. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we see more people feeling depressed during those long winter months. That's why it is important to still take care of your physical health, drink water, get plenty of sleep, find some exercise, whatever that is, whether that's doing the yoga that CHR puts out online, you know, or, you know, taking walks when you're able to, going to the gym, walking around the mall, you know, anything to get yourself up and moving is really important during these months where it's dark.
Right.
You know,
right. And all of those activities you just mentioned really can help people stay connected with others too.
Absolutely. If you can find ways to do it with somebody, it makes it even better. It's a stronger dose for your mental health.
Right. Well, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you proudly by CHR, where real life meets real hope. Visit chrhealth.org to explore resources and services. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Please rate and review and join the conversation on social media.